Hey guys, it's Drew, and today I want to show you guys how to do a jumping shot in stop motion. Now, jumping is something I've done a couple times, but I try to avoid it because it can be pretty difficult and time consuming. But today I'm going to show you 3 different techniques that you can do to achieve a jumping shot. Now, the first 2 jumping shots can be somewhat easily achieved, and you don't need a whole lot of equipment. The third is probably one of my favorites, but will often require you to spend a lot of money. The first technique is what I call the rock method. So you will need a Lego rock, your minifigure, sticky tack, and your filming equipment. On a side note, I am using the Canon EOS Rebel T7 and a software called Dragon Frame. But using a phone instead won't change how this shot is done. So we need our set, and then we need our rock, so we can put the rock in the set. You can use any object, but I think the rock works really well because it can kind of add to the shot, and you can make it any size you want, depending on how big the jump is going to be. Now before you get started, you want to make sure that you have good lighting, and you want to make sure that your set is taped down. I find that masking tape works really well. And now you're ready to get started. When filming a shot like this, you want to add some starting movements so it looks like the momentum is building. It will look a little strange if the character just starts floating. So I like to bring the arms down a little bit and then bring them back up as the character starts to jump. Then you put the sticky tack on the character's legs, and then you just slide him along the rock. You want to make sure that the minifigure goes up pretty fast, slows down at the height of the jump, and then goes down kind of fast. This will improve the physics of the shot. Lastly, the shot will look best if it is at the side. Facing the front will allow the viewer to see the sticky tack, and it won't look as good. And this is what the shot looks like. As you can see a little bit of the sticky tack there, but you want to make sure that you can avoid that as much as possible. Okay, the second version is what I call the close-up, where the key is to have the camera pretty close to the minifigure, so that the audience can't see the entire character. For this you will need 3 shots. One of the legs leaving the ground, one of the head traveling through the air, and then one of the legs landing again. So this is a little bit of an illusion. So for this I built a little rig that my minifigure can easily hold on to. This rig is also very posable, which will allow me to complete the shot. So we will start with the shot of our minifigure's legs, and do the same trick with building momentum. Then we will move him out of the frame. Next, you want to get a shot of the minifigure's upper body moving across the frame. So to help me achieve this, I built this little stand, and I can just slide the minifigure across it, and it should give the illusion. Then the last shot will be of the feet landing on the ground. This is done the same way the minifigure was lifted off the ground. And this is what that shot looks like. The last shot is the most complicated one. Now for this shot, I adjusted the rig so that it could hold the minifigure, and this is basically what's going to allow the minifigure to jump in this next shot. First, we basically repeat the last shot, only we can have the entire minifigure in frame. However, we want to make sure that the part connecting to the minifigure is hidden. So as you can see, I have the minifigure held up by the same rig as last time. Then, as you are familiar, repeat the same jump pattern, build the momentum, and then film him traveling through the air. When you finish, take everything out of the shot and make sure that you have a clean shot. This will help later. So here's what the jump looks like with the rig still in the shot. Now to finish this one up, we need to go onto the computer software that can essentially mask out the rig. So I have Final Cut Pro, and it has a masking effect which will help me cut the rig out of the footage. Then I'll just draw around the rig, and this takes a long time because you have to trace each individual frame, but it ends up looking pretty cool. Now to put this in a little bit better perspective, I had to mask 5 frames, and the total thing took me about 15 minutes, so that's about 3 minutes per frame, which is a decent amount of time. So you put the blank frame underneath the masked out frames, and by the time you're done, it should look like this. It may look a little bit weird if your minifigure doesn't really have a shadow because you masked it out, but you can add the drop shadow effect and position the shadow the way you want, and that should help it look a little bit more normal. And here is what that looks like. Now you may not be able to do this last shot because Final Cut Pro is pretty expensive, but hopefully this video has shown you some other ways of how you can achieve the jumping shots that you want. So thank you for watching, and good luck on your future brick films.